Ever get the feeling that human evolution is, well, ancient history? Something that happened millions of years ago and now we're just kind of done? It's a really common thought, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The story of our evolution isn't over. In fact, it's hitting the gas pedal. Let's dive in.
So let me just ask you straight up. Do you think we've stopped evolving? That with all our technology and medicine, we've somehow outsmarted natural selection?
You might want to think again, because the evidence that we're still evolving isn't some fossil dug up in a desert. It might be physically growing on you, right now. I'm not kidding. Scientists in Australia found that more and more young people are developing these little bony spikes on the back of their skulls. And the cause? Tilting our heads down to look at our phones over and over and over. Our skeletons are literally adapting to the strain. This is evolution in real time.
And look, this isn't just some weird, one-off example. It's actually part of a huge and accelerating trend. The speed of this change is just staggering. Some of the latest research shows human evolution is happening 100 times faster now than it was 10,000 years ago. That's right after the agricultural revolution. We are changing at a blistering pace.
So if we're changing so fast, where else can you see it? Let's get into some of the tangible and, honestly, kind of startling ways our bodies are adapting right under our noses.
Okay, take height. In just the last 150 years, the average height for people in the Netherlands has shot up by 20 centimeters. That's a massive leap in what's basically a blink of an eye, evolutionarily speaking. It just shows how fast our genes can react to new things, like, say, better food. And get this? This one's even stranger. Inside your forearm, there's an artery, the median artery, that's supposed to disappear when you're an 8-week-old fetus. Well, it's making a comeback. Back in the 1880s, only about 10% of people had it. Today, it's over a third of us. And scientists are projecting that by the year 2100, pretty much everyone will be born with it. It's basically an evolutionary upgrade, a backup blood supply for our hands.
So what about things that are going away? Well, let's talk about wisdom teeth. A huge and growing chunk of the population is just born without them. In South Korea, for instance, that number is a whopping 41%. Evolution is literally hitting the delete key on these things.
So why? Why is this happening? It really all comes down to our diet. We eat soft, processed foods now. We just don't need the heavy-duty chewing power our ancestors did. The result? Our jaws are physically shrinking. And with no room at the end, the body is just phasing wisdom teeth out. It is a perfect example of use it or lose it, but on a massive evolutionary scale.
But these changes aren't just physical. Nope, maybe the most profound, most important adaptations are happening where you can't see them, inside our own skulls, in the very wiring of our brains.
You see, our brains are making this incredible trade-off to deal with the modern world. The part for deep, focused thought, the prefrontal cortex, is actually getting thinner. At the same time, the hippocampus, which handles short-term memory, is getting bigger. We're getting better at juggling bits and pieces of information, but maybe we're losing our ability to just sit and concentrate. And we can see this happening with the tech we use every single day. The more you rely on GPS to get around, the more the part of your brain that handles spatial memory, that makes mental maps, physically shrinks. Your brain basically decides, hey, the phone's got this handled, I don't need to keep this part of the factory running at full capacity.
Kinda makes you wonder, right? Be honest with yourself. When was the last time you had to actually figure out how to get somewhere new completely on your own?
So what is going on here? Why is all of this happening and happening so incredibly fast? Well, there's a core scientific idea that really pulls all these threads together. It explains the central conflict of being a human right now.
It's called mismatch disease. And the theory is both simple and incredibly powerful. It goes like this. Our bodies, our genes, our entire biology was forged over millions of years for a life of hunting and gathering on the savannah. But now we live in a world of office chairs, glowing screens, and ultra-processed food, a world we just weren't built for. And this mismatch is what's driving our rapid and often pretty problematic evolution.
I mean, just look at this chart. The contrast is insane. Our bodies expect natural food, constant motion, and a whole world of dirt and microbes. And instead, we give them Doritos, desk jobs, and hand sanitizer. This conflict, it's at the root of so many of our modern problems.
And you can see the consequences all around you. That chronic back pain so many of us have, it's because our spines weren't perfectly designed for walking, let alone sitting for 8 hours a day. The explosion in autoimmune diseases, it could be because our immune systems are so underworked in our hyperclean world that they get bored and start attacking us. The epidemic of nearsightedness in kids, yeah, that's from staring at screens all day. These aren't random failures. They are the direct results of putting an ancient body in a modern world.
Which brings us to the final and most critical question. If this is where we are right now, where on Earth are we going? What does the future of human evolution even look like? The goalposts have completely moved. Natural selection is no longer trying to make us better survivors in the wild. It is now actively selecting for traits that help us survive in this new artificial environment we've built. We are evolving to become creatures of the chair and the screen.
So what do scientists predict? A few key things. As we all continue to mix and mingle globally, distinct physical features will likely start to average out. Our brains? They might actually keep shrinking as we outsource more and more of our thinking to the internet. And then there's the really wild card, gene editing, which could let us just bypass natural selection altogether and direct our own evolution.
And that really leaves us with one final and kind of chilling thought. We like to think of evolution as progress, right? As some kind of climb towards being better. But that's not how it works at all. Evolution is blind. It's neutral. It doesn't care if you're healthy or if you're happy. It has one and only one goal: to make sure the genetic code gets passed on to the next generation, whatever it takes. Our bodies are being rewritten as we speak, not for a better life, but simply for survival in the strange new world we've built.